Airbnb has been making a lot of both headline news, but as well as Reddit boards recently, and there seems to be this social media push, the cancel Airbnb push that we have seen, and that's part of what I wanted to have you on to talk about. Is I know you do a lot of tracking when it comes to home rental data, and how has that market? First of all, thank you for coming on, but second of all, how has that market shifted over the last 2 years since the beginning of the pandemic?
Yeah, and beginning of the pandemic, we obviously saw a drop in travel, just like in all forms of travel. But really quickly, like March, June of 2020, travel came back really strong, specifically for short-term rentals. People still want to travel, but they really only felt comfortable sort of staying in homes, not in hotels. And then that sort of coincided with a whole lot of people that had second homes, brought those homes off the market. So we actually saw a decrease in the available supply of short-term rentals, which pushed occupancy, the performance of those that had them, to record levels last year. And we're coming a bit off those record levels today, but still really strong performance for most operators.
So, Jamie, do you have a sense for how many new entrants there are that are newly renting a property out on Airbnb or Vrbo? I feel like those are the two main sites that are out there. It seems to me that there was a big surge in this over the last couple of years of people who maybe relocated because of remote work. In addition to the spike in demand, my sense was that there's a spike in supply as well.
Yeah, over the past year, we've seen about a 25% increase in new listings.
Wow.
And that's overall. And like I said, though, that we saw a decrease in 2020, 2021. So when we compare it to 2019, we're only about 8% higher in terms of supply. But a lot of the supply sort of shifted. It shifted away from cities toward sort of mountain coastal markets. So really the net increase, or what percent of new listings are out there, it's like
the other piece to this is that there's been this social media backlash against Airbnb that we have been picking up on recently, and I'm not entirely sure if that's showing up in the data yet, but there seems to be a bit of a push from people saying that they are not as interested in using Airbnbs. And Jamie, that's my question for you: is there anything that you're seeing in your data to support this pushback in terms of the biggest complaint that I hear about when it comes to Airbnb is, look at all these hidden costs that I have when compared to booking a hotel room or something along those lines? Have you seen that showing up in any data that you see?
Yeah, I think, and one host can do it because they can get away with it. And so if they can get you to take up the trash, if they can get you to pay and higher cleaning fees, and they're going to pass those sort of pass-in expenses to consumers. But they were able to do it because there was no other options last year, no other options this year.
Right.
Places were fully booked, especially during peak seasons. So if you wanted to go to these locations, you had to pay those additional fees. Now that occupancies are coming down a bit, I think it's going to put some more power in the hands of consumers, and you're starting to see the pushback. And already we're starting to see people sort of change their policy, change the way sort of fees get shown, things like that.
Jamie, with such a significant shift in the housing market already showing up with interest rates rising, do you see that working its way into the rental market? I mean, I don't know what types of mortgages these people have on these properties, if they are floating rate or fixed, or do you see any inventory, for instance, coming online from people that had been doing Airbnbs that it might not make economic sense anymore?
Yeah, and we're still seeing sort of record supply come online, like more than 70,000 new listings come on per month.
Wow.
In the U.S., which is at some of the highest levels we've ever seen. And it's a combination of two things. It's one, investors buying homes, bringing them into the short-term rental market, and for obvious reasons with interest rates, that's slowing. The other piece, though, is you have people with second homes that maybe they're sitting empty half the year or even most of the year, and now people are seeing the revenue you can make from renting out that home. And the census puts out there's 5 million second homes out there in the U.S. and only 1.3 million short-term rentals today. So there's a lot of room for people to bring inventory on that isn't necessarily them making new investments.
Very interesting. Jamie Lane, he's the VP of Research at AirDNA and joined us today to talk about trends in the short-term rental market. Jamie, thank you very much for coming on. Appreciate it.